नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you so much, dear worshipful devotees, for joining. We are reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, on the occasion of Gita Jayanti, which is tomorrow, Moksha Ekadashi. So we started this chapter and we have reached till text number 14 yesterday. So we're going to continue from there. But we'll quickly do all the verses before we start the next verse. We'll quickly recite all the verses once. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Partha Yogam Yunjanmadashraya Asanchayan Samagram Mam Yatha Gyasasi Tachrinu Gyanas Gyanam Teham Savigyanam Idam Vakshyami Ashishata Yajgyatva Neha Bhuyonyat Gyatavyam Avashishyate Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye Yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha bhumirapo nalo vayu mano buddhireva cha ahankara iti yam me bhinna prakritirashtada apareyam nidhastap anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीति उपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वम् इदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव रसोऽहम् अपसु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्यौ प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययो प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दखे पौरुषं दिशो पुण्यो गन्धपृथिवीं च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विधि पार्थ सनातनम् बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम् बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागविवर्जिता धर्मविरुद्धभूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ य चैव सात्विका भाव राजसस्तामसश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विधि नातः तेषु ते मयि त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैरेभिः सर्वम् इदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति ययेदं मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् देवी एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव्ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढा प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमा मायया प्रहतः ज्ञान आसुरीं भावमाश्रिता हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we have read till text 14 and we'll start with 15 today, halfway. This is quite a long purport, important verse, long purport. So if we can complete this verse today, which has like 7 pages of purport, I think that will be great. So without further delay, let's read and Since it's a long purport, we will read in sections and discuss in sections. Otherwise, it's hard to kind of digest what we read in the beginning. It's hard to recall and digest that. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. It's a long purport. I just want to kind of share the word to word also. Na ma'am, Krishna is saying, some people, you remember the acronym, we are at the A point, accept and reject or reject. So na ma'am, the few people do not take shelter of me. Who are those? Krishna is saying, na ma'am, dushkritino mura. Those who are grossly foolish. It's number one, right here. Then comes Naradhama. The Naradhama, or the lowest of mankind, they also do not take shelter. Then comes Maya Aprihata Jnana. Those whose intelligence has been stolen. Or and number four is basically asurim, or demoniac. So these are the four people who do not take shelter. Now we'll go in detail. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering oneself unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, a question arises. How is that educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all the leaders of the ordinary men do not surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the all-powerful personality of Godhead? Mukti, or liberation from the laws of material nature, is sought by the leaders of mankind in different ways and with great plans and perseverance for a great many years and births. But if that liberation is possible simply by surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of God, and then why don't these intelligent and hardworking leaders adopt this simple method? Right? So Prabhupada, on behalf of the general audience, is posing a very good question, is it not? If our goal is what? Liberation, mukti. Many people want, but not everyone takes shelter of Krishna. Why? That's the question. And these are the four kinds of people. The Gita answers this question very frankly. Those really learned leaders of society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, the Kumaras, Manu, Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Janaka, Prahlad, Bali, and later on Madhvacharya, Ramanacharya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others who are faithful followers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc., surrender to the Lord. So, lotus feet of the Supreme Personality, Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea of God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempt to solve them. Because material energy, nature is so powerful, it can resist the unauthorized plans of the atheists and baffle the knowledge of planning commissions. It's a very beautiful response. And it's not that all philosophers or all people reject God. Prabhupada gives so many examples. Asita Devala, Vyasa, Prabhupada, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Madhvacharya, etc. They all accepted. They were great scholars. Some of them were even great kings, right? Like Pradaputta Maharaj. Some of them were very, very scholarly. So the idea is those who are faithful in their understanding, they accept. But those who are not actually, but pretend as so-called for material gains, for selfish reasons, they will not accept God. Hmm. And rather, what is Prabhupada saying? They will complicate and that's what we see. The modern technology, it's a big debate. How much is it helping and how much is it harming? What to speak of spiritual matter, even materially, it's causing more havoc than good, is it not? It's causing more challenges. I mean, we are not denying that it has some advantages on a material scale, but it's like a double-edged sword. So it's 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 causing more complications in society, right? And every sincere person will agree to the fact that it's causing more problems than good. And material nature is so powerful, it can resist the unauthorized plan. And that's what we see sometimes, that all the big plans are just baffled. Prabhupada is saying that all these big planning commissions will be just baffled. That's what happens, right? When a big tsunami comes or a big hurricane comes, all these big planning commissions, big policies and whatnot, very powerful gadgets, you cannot stand anywhere in front of those. So ultimately, um, we are just a tiny instrument. Any other thoughts? So far, or shall we read further? Maybe someone else can read next two paragraphs so everyone can get a chance to read a little bit.
I can read, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Danu Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. The atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word duskritina or miscreants. Kriti means one who has performed meritorious work. The atheist plan maker is sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheist plan maker is called Duskriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. In the Gita, it is clearly mentioned that mental energy works fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. It has no independent authority. It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movements of the object. But still, mental energy is very powerful. And the atheist, due to his godless temperament, cannot know how it works, nor can he know the plan of the Supreme Lord. Under illusion and the most of the passion and ignorance, all his plans are baffled, as in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, whose plans were smashed to dust, although they were both materially learned and as scientists, philosophers, administrators, and educators. These Dushpitinis or miscreants are of four different patterns as outlined below. So, in this verse, Krishna said that four types of people don't surrender. The first one is called Duskritina or miscreants. So, Prabhupada, grossly as a miscreant, we see who does the like dacoits or thieves or killers, murderers. But here Prabhupada is saying that atheist plan makers also are in this group. And as you see that in this current world, with the so-called advancement of the technology, how we are vulnerable every day in our daily life. Nothing is secured. Everybody knows everything. I think if I Google my social number, it will be coming up probably. So, and we are getting abused and misused by these duskitinas. And these atheist people, they're godless, for what I'm telling clearly. And these people may be intelligent, definitely they're intelligent, but they're using this for wrong purpose. And Prabhupada further explaining this scrutinous or miscreants, that there are 4 different types. Back to Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So anyone who is making plans without being in harmony with God's plans is basically dushkritina. Kriti, Prabhupada is explaining here. Kriti means to do work or activities, meritorious act. Like the opposite of dushkritina would be, can anyone share opposite of dushkritina? Like opposite of dukkha is sukha, right? So opposite of dushkritina will be sukritina. Su means good, right? Susanskar, susukham kartum avyayam. So su means good. Susmita Shri Mukhena. You remember? Recently we read the word Susmita. Beautiful smile, good smile, Krishna's smile. Su means good. So Sukritina are those who are on the opposite side. Those who work, those who act in harmony with God's plan. But Dushkritina do totally opposite. Dushkritina, one could be wearing a nice suit and a tie and a bow and whatnot, but their plans could be totally not in harmony with God. So it's not by some external looks, or they have some horns on their heads, or they look like demoniac, or right, or scary. That's not the meaning here. The meaning is they're not in harmony with God, in short. And what are those 4 kinds? Let's study them. There are 4 kinds or subcategories. Anyone wants to read the next 2 paragraphs?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
The Muras are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being bitten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish, fruity worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma, action, is meant by yagna or sacrifice. Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. To such Muras, material gains which are destructible, are lives all in all. Despite the fact that the Muras enjoy only a very small fraction of the fruit of labor, sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gain, and although they may have ulcers or indigestion, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters, ignorant of their real master. The foolish workers waste their valuable time serving Mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the supreme master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper sources. The swine who eat the night soil do not care to accept sweetmeats made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the foolish worker will untiringly continue to hear of the enjoyable tiding of the flickering mundane world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world. So here it's talking about the fruitive who has done fruitive activities without where Krishna is not present there. So they want to do material gain without Krishna. So that's why here Prabhupada is explaining that how useless it is when a people working hard and hard 18 hours a day and without any Krishna conscious activities or anything, only work and work to gain maybe money, to gain more wealth, to gain name, fame, etc. But so that's why Prabhupada is explaining with the analogy like ass, whose work only is mating, eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. So that's the full purpose of their life without anything else. So back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. I had a laughter moment when you read, and actually that's true, right? The humble beast is made to work very hard by his manager. Right? And that's true, right? His master.
Yeah. Yes, true, Prabhuji.
That's so true. So, grossly foolish, the first kind of miscreants or dushkritinas, Mudas, or why they are called Mudas. Now, one may say, well, I'm a graduate from Harvard or PhD from this school or this college, and someone is calling Muda, right? So we have to understand why we are called Mudas, or why someone using the word serving Mammon. Anyone knows Mammon? I googled it. It's basically like money, right? Serving money, serving wealth, right? Their whole goal is money, 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 right? Money is more dear than honey, rest all is. And they don't like to part there with their money, right? As if they're going to take everything with them. They will not use it for good purposes because, well, it's my money, right? For myself, spending $500 is a very small amount. But for noble causes, spending $10 is a very, very big amount. That's what money makes us blind, right? So the ass is so blind, he thinks, oh, I will get the married to the master's daughter because the master keeps saying, hey, if you do this wrong, the master scolds his daughter. If you do a mistake, I'll get married to this, I'll get you married to this donkey or ass. So ass is thinking, wow, if one day she's going to make mistake for sure, and I'll get married. So, in there are some cartoons also. I've seen that, right? The boss puts the carrot, I mean, there are certain cartoons you may have seen. In corporate world, the chasing of the carrot. I think you may have seen, like in the corporate world. Yeah, like this is a good, interesting picture, right? Putting the carrot and the stick keeps moving, the carrot keeps moving, right? So this is how material life is all about. You see, like, oh, nice briefcase, coat, suit, but the boss is moving the carrot. The master is moving the carrot. So they may be graduates from very, very prestigious institutes and in very nice cars and bungalows and whatnot. Hmm. Uh, but ultimately, it's for what? We're not against jobs. We're not against education. We're not against any of those things. But Bhagavatam explains, na utpadyed yadi ratim shrama eva hi kevalam. So we don't have to do futile endeavor. We have to do endeavor which helps us to connect with Krishna, and that's very nice. Karmani ekam tasya devasya seva. Hmm. So that endeavor which is regulated, yukta hara viharasya, yukta sapna chetasu, yukta karma bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. That will liberate us from all the dukkha. But this endeavor, not connected with Krishna, is futile, ass-like, donkey-like, is Prabhupada explains why is it foolish? You may have seen, maybe in India, you've seen like in sewage, there's some pig is lying and he's eating stool. If someone gives him nice chappan bhoga, nice desi ghee halwa, which is million times better, right? The pig will say, no, 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 I'm happy with my stool or eating other stool. It's so nice to me. I don't want halwa. So the time which a corporate materialist or a Muda is using so much of life's precious energy in selfish pursuits, they are compared to stool. They are here compared, as Prabhupada is writing, sense pleasures basically, right? All the sense pleasures, selfish agendas, as Mataji said, ahar nidra bhai maithula. The pleasure of the senses, or me, my family, just focusing on I, me, my car, my house, my money, my bank balance, my this, my that, right? My property, whatever, all compared to stool. But they do not want, they do not have any time. They ask them, hey, can you please come for Gita class for even 10 minutes, one shloka? Sorry, I don't have time. I'm so busy. It's not about the time. It's about the mindset. It's about priority. However busy one may be, you say, oh, here is a free package to Hawaii. 5 days, 5 nights, you and your family go. All bills will be paid, airfare, hotel fare, food expense, this expense, traveling, entertainment, all paid. Will they say, no, 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 I don't have time to go? Will anyone say? Everyone will figure out time. Oh, Hawaii, Hawaii, right? I'm going. I'll figure out the time, right? So it's not about, but they have very little time to hear about the eternal living force, Jiva, and how the, or Paramatma. So in short, we should not be so busy in life. The lesson is we should not become Mudas, that we have time for everything, but not time for the real thing, which is Krishna, which is our own self, Atma, Paramatma, and the connection, which is Bhakti Yoga process. So we are not saying quit the job, quit family, quit this, quit that. No. Do it in a regulated way and use some portion for spreading Krishna consciousness. Gita Jayanti is a great opportunity. Use time, energy, resources. Prana, Artha, Dhiya, Vacha. Krishna has given us, this body, this intelligence, the ability to speak, the ability to make money. We have some jobs, some resources, right? Whatever, we should use that to the best we can to spread Krishna consciousness. And in that way, that whole activity will become transcendental. It will no more be a still like selfish sense gratification activity. It will become karma yoga or bhakti yoga. And that's what the difference between a bhogi and a yogi. So basically, these mudas are bhogis, right? Can we say that? It's bhogi. Enjoy, selfish enjoy, right? Me, mine, my family. But from bhogi, we have to become bhakti yogi. That use that job, use that intelligence, use that hard work. A devotee is even more hardworking. Like who gets up on Sunday early morning? No one gets up in the material world, right? If not, maybe if they have an office appointment, they'll get up. But if they have no office work or no children to drop to the school, they'll sleep, or they have no like other uh, me or my family thing, they'll sleep till 9, 10 a.m., right? But Bhakti yogis are up. You go to the temple, 4 o'clock, Mangal Arati going, 4:30. Why? Because a devotee is more hardworking, but for Krishna. So you have to become intelligent hard workers. Work for the material life, do the needful, whatever is required, 8, 10 hours of job, no more than that. But for bhakti, we become the rest of the time, whatever, at least 3, 4 hours, we should give quality time to Krishna. Have for work, have for your health and recreation, sleeping, doing bodily chores, for family time. But a good time we should have for our spiritual upliftment, right? That's what Prabhupada is saying here. So mudas, is it clear? The word mudas, why is it used? Why compared to as and all those things? Any other thoughts, comments anyone has? Okay, let's go to the next types of dushkritinas. Anyone? Anyone who has not read, wants to read?
Can you read, Pujan?
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. Another class of dushkriti or miscreant is called the Naradhama, or the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being and Adhama means the lowest. Out of 8 lakhs, 8,400,000 different species of living beings, there are 400 human species. Out of these, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are social and politically developed but who have no religious principle must be considered Naradhamas. Nor is religion without God religion, because the purpose of following religious principles is to know the supreme truth and man's relations with Him. In Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states that there is no authority above Him and that He is a supreme truth. The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost conscious of his eternal relationship with the supreme truth. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is all powerful. Whoever loses this chance is classified as Naradhamas. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in mother's womb, an extremely uncomfortable situation, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being because he is eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusionary energy. You want me to continue next one, Prabhuji?
Okay, let's see if anyone else wants to read.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Anyone wants to read?
Yeah, I can read.
Please.
Hare Krishna. It is the duty of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies, as enjoined in the Manusmriti, which is a guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashrama. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99% of the population is Naradhama. When the whole population becomes Naradhama, naturally all that so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. According to the standard of the Gita, a learned man is he who sees on equal terms the learned Brahmana, the dog, the cow, the elephant, and the dog eater. This is the vision of a true devotee. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the incarnation of Godhead as Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradhamas, the brother Jagai and Madai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradhama, who is condemned by the personality of Godhead, can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavata Dharma or activities of the devotee, has recommended that people submissively hear the messages of the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest among human beings cannot be delivered by this submissive hearing process only, but unfortunately, they even refuse to give an oral reception to these messages. And what to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord? Naradhamas, or the lowest of mankind, will fully neglect the prime duty of the human being. Hare Krishna. So this whole section is talking about Naradhamas. That's another class of miscreants or duskritis. And out of the Nara means, as it says here, human being, but Adama is the lowest of them. So there are numerous forms of human life. Those who are regulated in terms of their political, social, and religious life can be considered as good people as long as their religious life is properly directed, not religious life doing kind of lip service but not really doing it. But then there are others who are who follow political and social norms, but they don't have any religious life. Such people can be thought of as Naradhamas. And So the other part that he's talking about here is how a baby in the womb gives an example of baby in the womb. When he is in the womb, which is a very difficult situation, so he hears he's in a position where he's thinking of God, and he promises to pray to him once he comes out, once he's delivered. But once he's delivered, he is now under the grasp of Maya, and he totally forgets what he's going to do. Shall I summarize even? It's a long one. Is that enough for?
You're doing amazing, Prabhuji. Please,
I've done half of it.
please.
Okay, I'll try. Then here, it's also talking about the responsibility of parents, because children, as it says in the previous one, once they come out of the womb, when they're delivered, then now they have to be redirected back to Godhead. So this is where the parents come in, and if the parents are already on the path of bhakti, then they can revive, start teaching their children. As I think many of you in our ISKCON Tampa are really doing a noble job, I think, with that, because we see so many kids come to all these programs doing bhajans and kirtans and so on. So it's really amazing. The other point is being made here is that if you have Naradhamas, and when 99% of the people are Naradhamas, then the whole world is, as we have already discussed, it's under the total material influence, and they have forgotten the way. They don't know what Krishna consciousness or anything is. And also it says here that the person, a bona fide devotee, he sees a dog, a cow, elephant, dog eater, all in the same. He sees all the living entities as being the children of God. So he treats them all in an equal way, and he wants to help them, deliver them, so that they can raise their consciousness. So I'll leave it there, Prabhuji. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ekant Prabhu and Raghu Prabhu, for so nicely reading and sharing your valuable inputs. Human life is, again, very rare. And just wasting it without understanding the purpose is basically makes one very low class. It's not by any external designation. It's basically those who have not understood the real purpose of life. They are Naradhamas. Or those who have taken, but they remember and then they give up bhakti after practicing it for a tiny, short moment, thinking that the other side of the grass, like sense gratification, is more dearer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu were specially given, or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave special instructions to Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Mahaprabhu. Akarodha Paramananda Nityananda Ram Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagar Beda. Right, go to every town and village and do what? Adhama Patita Prabhu Dware Dware Giya. Adhama Patita, right? If we see all the bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this word Adhama, Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvan. Lord Chaitanya has specially come to deliver the most fallen, or Adhama, Naradhama. Musamapatitra Prabhu nahi tribhuvane. यदि दया न करिबे पतित देखी या पतित पावन नाम किसरे लागी. If you do not shower mercy upon me, the most fallen, how will your name be Patita Pavan? You're known as Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the fallen. So Lord has specifically come, like we see the Rath Yatra we do at this Clearwater beach. Who at that beach, majority of them, their purpose is like sense gratification, right? To smoke, drink, alcohol, beer, whatnot, and women hunt, all that stuff, goes on, and no one is there to look for God. But God is so merciful. Jagannath is so Patita Pavana. He comes and helps. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. What is the very, very important process? Submissively hearing. As mentioned here, the Bhagavad Dharma is submissively hearing. But the lowest human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing only, but only for unfortunately, they even refuse to give oral reception to these messages. And what to speak of the surrendering? So if one even doesn't want to hear, what will like hearing, first hearing, understanding, introspection, and action. Knowledge will lead to action. But even if they don't want to hear anything connected to God about our supreme, about supreme welfare, Atma, Paramatma, then what will be the drive to to do an action? If all day we are hearing, whatever we hear, we become inspired to do that, is it not? If all day, if someone is putting message, let's say if someone is hearing all day about how to make money on YouTube, there must be thousands of videos, lakhs of videos, or like how to grow in any field, how to look more beautiful, or how to increase our beauty. There'll be thousands of videos. How to increase our income, there'll be thousands of videos. How to get a better job, there'll be thousands of videos. If all day we are hearing that, then when will we hear how to get free from the cycle of birth and death? About our supreme welfare, all those things, how to look more beautiful, how to get more money, how to impress others, how to all that stuff is Gramya Katha, which the world is full of. So in short, we should take out some time to hear about Krishna. That will inspire us to surrender to Krishna, as we were discussing that cycle, right? Hearing, bhakti, it will lead to more surrender. More surrender will lead us to more hearing, more chanting, more devotional service. That will lead us to better quality of surrender. And the cyclic process will go and ultimately will be free and go back home, back to Godhead. That's Naradhama. Any other thoughts, comments? And Prabhupada also mentioned almost 99.9% of the population is Naradhama. So some people take it offensively. Hey, how are you saying me low class? Literal meaning is low class, right? Naradhama, the low class human beings, right? So some people take offenses. It's not talking about any color. It's not talking about any country. It's not talking about any gender. So please don't take it wrong, right? We're not talking about any color or gender or country or anything. Prabhupada is making a statement which applies to all the human beings practically. Anyone who is not sincerely caring for their own good, in short, irrespective of the country they live, irrespective of the job they do, irrespective of their age or social or any kind of status. In short, on a positive note, Prabhupada is inspiring us to hear, submissively hear for our own good. The message of Gita, the message of Bhagavad, and give oral reception, and it will lead to surrender. Any other thoughts, comments anyone has? Let's move to the next category. Let us see if we can quickly complete the next two also. Anyone wants to read this third one? Third class? Anyone who has not read? Yes. Girish Prabhu, Vijaya Mataji, Devaki Mataji, would you like to try?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, there are a lot of disturbances going on at my home.
Devaki Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The next class of Dushkriti, can you hear Prabhuji?
Yes.
The next class of Dushkriti is called Maya Ya Hirta Jnanaha, or those persons whose erudic knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory material energy. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are a great number of Maya Yaparhita Jnana at the present moment, even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is none equal to or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. In fact, Sri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. He is the root of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma, the super soul in every entity in his plenary portion. He is the fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender unto him, unto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Yaparita Jnana deride the personality of the Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. All the unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Maya Yaparta Jnanaha outside the purview of the Parampara system also many stumbling blocks on the path of a spiritual understanding. The deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle. Hare Krishna. So, here it is mentioned that there can be intelligent people, writers, authors, politicians, very intelligent people, but they don't put Krishna in the center for their intelligence. They thought themselves to be very intelligent. They can interpret many things. They can be poets. They have even interpreting the Bhagavad Gita in their own way, not according to what Krishna, what the Manus have laid, what the principles of Manuskriti laid before. According to their own intelligence, they have interpreted the Bhagavad Gita, and they are not able to give the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to people, but only because of their own intelligence, because of their own, pride, they have written, showing how intelligent they are. But this is not what we are supposed to do when we read Bhagavad Gita. That is what I understood, Prabhuji. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. Maya Aprihata Jnana, whose intelligence has been stolen. By whom? By Maya. Maya Aprihata. Apaharan. Have you heard the word apaharan? Sita Apaharan, right? Or is kidnapping. So someone who is his intelligence has been kidnapped or stolen by the illusory energy. So they may externally be very intelligent and quote this Upanishad and that and whatnot, but ultimately, sorry, they may not quote a lot of verses, but they say, oh, I feel God is light. I feel God is everyone. I think God is this. I think I am God. I think you can be God. I think we are all God. I think God is love. I think my dog is my God. I think my cat is I see my cat and dog as my God. It's such a big mess. Rather, they do not take to the authorized interpretations. They succumb to unauthorized interpretations outside the purview of Guru Parampara system. They do not accept, oh, I'll figure it out. No, that's not how spiritual understanding works. What to speak of spiritual understanding, even for a material understanding, no one becomes a doctor, engineer just by saying, oh, I figured it out. I figured out the whole thing myself. No, no one is going to get treated, right? Will you go to a doctor who says, oh, well, I learned everything, I experimented everything in my own house, my own laboratory, and I have not referred to the authorized books. I have not been trained under expert doctors. I just figured it out myself. I say, okay, good luck to you, right? No one is going to be treated by such a doctor, even though he may proclaim himself to be a great doctor. Right? Everyone wants to go through someone who has proper authorized knowledge from authorized sources. Similarly, in spiritual life, authorized Guru Parampara system, not just someone's own whims and fantasies. So, not by the number of followers they have on YouTube. I mean, that also is not the criteria of authority. There are many people these days who may have millions of followers on YouTube. I'm not saying, not talking about any names here, but the point is having 1 million or even 100 million followers does not make one authority. What makes authority is the bona fide, how sincerely, how closely they're following the Guru Parampara system. So in short, here the whole idea is the Maya Prihata Jnana are the people who are deluded speculators, or those who are concocting spiritual life. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated. So this line is very important, my dear friends, right? I like how Prabhupada has put it here. In the Gita, Gita Jayanti is tomorrow, in plain and simple language, two very important words, plain and simple language. It is stated, Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of Brahma, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam, the original father of human beings. Uh, so many verses Krishna is saying, but still those deluded scholars, they'll say, no, this is not Krishna. This is just some yogi. This is something like the supreme within Krishna in all that complexity. No, that's all unauthorized. So Maya Prihata Jnana. Let's read the fourth category and then we'll pause for today. We'll quickly read. It's just a few minutes more. Anyone who has not got a chance yet? Okay, second servings. Anyone for seconds? The last class of Dushkriti is called Asurim Bhavam Ashritaha, or those of demoniac principles. This class is openly atheistic. Openly atheistic. Some of them argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. There are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal feature, although the opposite is declared in the Gita. Envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. So poetic. Manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons whose very principle of life is to decry the personality of God. It cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Yamunacharya, Ala Bandaru of South India, said, "O my Lord, you are unknowable to persons involved with atheistic principles, despite your uncommon qualities, features, activities, and despite your personalities being confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite your being acknowledged by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in the godly qualities. Therefore, grossly foolish persons, second, the lowest of mankind, third, the deluded speculators, and fourth, the professed atheists, as mentioned above, never surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of God in spite of all the scriptural and authoritative advice on that side. So, category number 4, Asurim Bhavam Ashritaha. They have taken shelter, Ashritaha, of what? Asuri Bhava. Sura means divine. Asura means opposite of divine or demoniac. There's no God, or I'm God. You worship me as God, or everyone is God. Asuri Bhava, right? Atheistic. There's like take the God out of picture. Why are you talking about God? There's no God. Mhm. So they are like openly professed, as mentioned, Prabhupada mentioned, openly professing, openly atheistic. And not only to their individual, rather they are making big claims to others, making big videos. Millions of people are watching. Oh, so either they argue there is no God, or they make it impersonal, um, the supreme person as subordinate, as mentioned here, right, to the impersonal feature. That's also wrong because the opposite is declared. So they're envious of God, right? Therefore, like, why not me be the God? Why not me be the center of attention? Great acharyas have told that how God is so beautiful, how God is so nice, his activities, qualities, forms, pastimes, whatnot. Were they common people? No, they were so uncommon people in the sense they're so learned, they're so mature in the spiritual understanding. And if they are saying something out not for their selfish agendas, if Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Yamunacharya, they're saying something, and if we follow them, what will happen? We'll get benefited, right? They are already liberated souls. They are already liberated. But if we, Mahajano Yena Gata Sapantha, if we follow in the footsteps of the great Mahajans, Asita Devala Vyasa Narada, we get the benefit. They are already liberated. They are sharing for our benefit. But Asurim Bhavam Ashrita, no. I don't want to hear to the great souls. I don't want to hear to Parampara. I don't know. I know better. That's Asuri Bhava. So, people who are demoniac, atheistic, are envious of God. Those are Asuri Bhava. 4 categories. Namam dushkritino mura prapadyante naradhama. Maya prihata jnana asurim bhavam ashritaha. 4 kinds. Any other thoughts, comments before we wrap up for today? It is one of the, I think, the biggest purports in the top 5 or biggest purports Prabhupada has given for the Gita verses. This is one of those verses, I believe. So certainly important, that means.
Would you excuse me, from where are you reading this?
Mataji, on the occasion of Gita Jayanti, we are reading Bhagavad Gita chapter 7. This was text number 15 today.
15. Thank you, Prabhuji.
7.15, correct.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Just one thing which I just remember. It's it's one thing which really happened. I was it's like a YouTube short video that came up. There was one atheist person who spoke totally against God all the time on this, and people acknowledged him with the claps, and he got down and he was interviewed by a TV channel, and they was asking him, saying that, or just they're saying that they just appreciate him how good he spoke all about using science and all the topics without to prove that God is not there. And finally he said like, it's all God's mercy that I was able to speak all this through. So if, even though he did not believe consciously, unconsciously he's still thinking about him, and he is giving back, saying that it's all because a supreme, he is able to get the knowledge and speak through that. So I just kind of caught it in my while we are reading through it, and I want to share it, that Prabhuji. Sorry about the background.
Thank you, bro, for sharing. Yeah, that's the unfortunate reality of this world. Anyone can put anything on YouTube and blog and and there are millions andhan taraste, right? Blind following the blind. There are millions of views for these people. So this is the sad reality of what to do. But it's true, it's happening. And Prabhupada is not exaggerating when he says 99.9% fall in this category. That's so true. So thank you. Any other thoughts, comments? Okay, we'll not take more time. Tomorrow is the Gita Jayanti, the advent of Bhagavad Gita. And I think it's kind of a slow season for most. So let's take advantage of the time. And it's Friday, and I think so. Let's try to absorb on the day of Moksha Ekadashi.
Tomorrow is Ekadashi also.
Yes, Moksha Ekadashi, Gita Jayanti. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. So please make the most use of it. Happy Gita Jayanti, happy Moksha Ekadashi, Gita Upanishad ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveti Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you again. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.